Another day, another lawsuit for Uber. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. I think it's time we take a little break from the stock market, right? Don't worry, we'll have another video at around 10 a.m. about a recent development with Robinhood, and hey, guess what? We are going to have a special live episode podcast of the Apptrepreneur Show tonight at around 4:30 California time, and we will have a very special guest there to discuss what is going on with Robinhood, Webull, and the craziness of GameStop and AMC. But right now, let's talk about Uber again. It actually almost feels like a relief to be talking about Uber after everything else. So, Uber, as you all know, has been sued many times. Many times. Uber probably spends more money on settlements than any other company I know. Well, one of the things that they were hoping when they were passing Prop 22, or trying to get it passed, and it did pass, was to basically avoid having to pay drivers benefits, overtime, old fees, things like that. And then AB 5 came along that said they had to classify drivers as employees. Uber said they didn't have to. They were brought to court. Courts actually sided with the drivers, but then they decided to hold off on further rulings to see what happened to Prop 22. Well, Prop 22 passed, so Uber probably thought their problems were over, but the fact is it's actually not. In fact, Uber California drivers are scoring a huge win because the court has decided to partially allow class action lawsuit for pre-Prop 22 payments. These are payments before Prop 22 passed. So let's look at this article by Business Insider, written by Tyler Sonamaker. So, a federal court handed Uber drivers in California a small victory on Tuesday, allowing them to proceed with some parts of their class action lawsuit over employment benefits they claim the company owes them. The court ruled that a group of approximately 4,800 drivers can collectively sue Uber for allegedly denying them expense reimbursements and itemized pay statements, benefits guaranteed to all employees under state law, by misclassifying them as independent contractors prior to Proposition 22's passage. However, the court said drivers will have to bring claims individually over whether Uber failed to pay them the minimum wage, overtime, and paid sick leave, which employees are also guaranteed. Uber did not respond to requests for comment of the story. Sorry, I hate it when that happens. This is what drives me nuts. Several drivers brought the lawsuit against Uber last year after the company refused to reclassify them as employees following California's passage of AB 5, which sought to extend the state's existing labor protections to a wider group of workers. California eventually sued Uber and Lyft for not complying with the law. State regulators determined it did not apply to both companies, and a state appeal court agreed. But as legal challenges from Uber and Lyft were pending, voters passed Proposition 22, a company-backed ballot initiative that exempted rideshare and food delivery app companies from complying with AB 5. That new law, which specifically designated drivers and delivery workers for those apps as independent contractors, went into effect in December. But drivers allege that in the time after AB 5 went into effect, but before Prop 22 did, Uber should have been treating them as employees. They are correct, in my opinion. As a result, the drivers claimed Uber violated California's labor laws by failing to reimburse business expenses, pay the minimum wage, pay overtime, provide itemized pay statements, and provide paid sick leave. The lawsuit is among several Uber is facing over worker classification, which could put the company on the hook for substantial back payments to drivers. California Supreme Court also recently ruled that Dynamex, a court ruling that became the legal base for AB 5, applies retroactively, which could make gig companies liable for back payments dating back several years before AB 5's passage. So here's the thing. Going forward, Uber and Lyft do not have to treat anyone as employees. They just absolutely do not. And, whoever voted yes for Proposition 22, they're going to have to live with that, among other things that Prop 22 has been doing, which we've been talking about on this channel. But it looks like Uber and Lyft will still owe some money in back payments. So for the past several years, who knows? I might be part of another class action lawsuit. I've been part of so many class action lawsuits against these companies. I've gotten so many checks. I've gotten over $10,000 in settlement checks from these companies. And I haven't driven for like years. So I might get another one. Who knows? And I guess that would be nice. But bottom line is Uber's going to have to pony up some more money. At some point, this will come to an end. Unless Prop 22 is challenged based on, a constitutional crisis, or that the law is not constitutional, I should say, actually. which will probably happen, then Uber and Lyft will eventually get away scot-free. I just think it's interesting that even after Prop 22 passes, Uber and Lyft still have this headache, and it does not seem to be going away. And I have to wonder if it will ever go away for them. Like, okay, so they passed their law, but they're still going to court, and they're still having to potentially pay these settlements. And they apparently there's over 4,800 drivers in California who want their back pay, and Uber might have to actually give it to them. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I would like to know what you think about this. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, blame responsibly. Have a good one.